Hey friends, Jewel back with another super cool astrology video, and I thought I would take a request today and talk about composite Mars square to Neptune. What we see when this shows up in a composite chart. So composite charts are midpoint charts. It's where we take two birth charts and find the middle ground between them, and it gives us a really good understanding, a really good picture of what the relationship is about and how the two people feel about it and behave within it and what the major themes are. So Mars is our forward action in a composite chart. It's a couple's drive, it's their aggression, it's their anger, it's their sexuality, it's their ambition. And Neptune is very much the opposite. It is about romance and non-expectation and seamless bliss and what makes us feel good and things that are mysteries, and hidden bed pleasures are found with Neptune. And Mars is an aggressive force. Neptune is very passive. So when we see these two in a square aspect, we see some conflict here between the passive things that you cannot see in a relationship and the aggressive things that are very evident in a relationship. So they tend to weaken each other's strong points over time when we have this one. This is one of the more difficult squares to have in a composite chart. But if it's the only or one of the only difficult things you have, it's not insurmountable. So both people really act in ways that really preclude the relationship from being honest, or can contribute even to dishonesty. Most of the time this is going to be an unconscious thing. Sometimes it is deliberate. It really depends on why the square is showing up. So, sometimes it's cheating. Sometimes it's dishonesty when you see the square. This is the one that is really famous for having people lying and cheating within a composite chart. And yes, it can show that, but that's not what it's going to show every time when you see this. It really depends on the individuals involved. So, it can show up as a lot of sexual exploration between a couple, or sexuality that is not conventional, or something that's doesn't have very many boundaries or is very accepting. So you can't just look at this one and say cheating, because it's not that simple. This is really an aspect where there is a lot of unconscious stuff going on between two people, where their egos are playing with each other, but they are not acknowledging it. They both really feel that they are the good one when we have this composite chart. And even if they have to go behind each other's back or leave things out or only tell a half-truth or only tell the other one what they want to hear, they very much feel like that's okay. This is a square that can have two people really not being honest about their motivations and not being honest about how their egos are showing up. A lot of times you're seeing one person act this out more than the other. And this composite aspect really requires honesty from both people, involving their level of interest, and you need to be really honest with each other, but compassionate, because this one can create a very angry breakup, because how one partner has been behaving passively, aggressively, or elusively, or deceptively. So it's one where the two people are operating from a place of ego, but they aren't being honest with themselves about that. They don't even realize it's happening. So we have to bring this one to consciousness between two people if it's going to show up as the positive side of it, which is a real sense of sexual healing, sexual connection, energetic connection. They can be energetically healing towards each other. They can also be energetically parasitic. So it really depends on how they are handling their own stuff and how they are behaving towards each other in the relationships. They tend to be very, what's the word? They very much want to justify their own behavior and their own anger and their own sometimes deception. So we have to make sure that we are operating from a place of being really conscious about why we're doing what we're doing or why we want what we want. This is a square that can create some a certain amount of resentment between two people based on the fact that one is taking more liberties than the other. And in that, the other one can be, operating from a place of ego by feeling like, I'm being so sacrificing and allowing you to do this. And there's not something healthy behind that. And so the behaviors that go on between two people when we have this particular square can be very weakening when it comes to their individuality, when it comes to their self-esteem over time. So it's important that we are honest, that we're upfront, and mostly that we are honest and upfront with ourselves when we have this particular square in a composite chart. So I hope this was helpful. If it was, please subscribe to my channel. You can find me on the internet at truthandaspectastrology.com. You could find me on Facebook at Truth and Aspect Astrology. And I specialize in relationship and intimacy astrology, but I interpret all types of birth charts. And I also specialize in asteroids and planetoids. So you can find my writings over on my Facebook page. You can find them on my internet. I'm transferring a lot of stuff over there to my blog because my new website is new and it's still having some glitches. So be patient. And I will be back super soon with more super cool videos. Bye-bye.